We're going now to a different topic, which, as we said, is tied in somehow. That since we mentioned that everything that comes from a tree is not, besides everything that comes from a tree is in one category, they can't use it, according to one opinion, for oil for a candle. So when you go into a whole different sugya about things that come from a tree, whether they're mekabel tumah. Tanya, they're holding at the end of Chavav Amud Aleph, 3 lines from the bottom. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Eimer, Kol hayoytze min ha'etz, any fabric which is made from a tree, from stalks of wood, that there's some fabric growing on it, such as cotton or hemp or flax. Ein bei mishum shalish al shalish. The rule is like this: for something to be mekabel tuma, it has to be a keli. It has to be designed, created to use it. So a clothing is a keli. Now we'll see soon. There's a special chiddush that not only a proper clothing can be called a keli. There are two measurements of things which are not a proper clothing, and they still could be considered a keli. One measurement is shloisha al shloisha, 3 by 3, b'loshen zachar, which is tfachim. That'll be the siman. If it's shloisha al shloisha, means 3 by 3 tfachim. And there's another one which is sholish al sholish, 3 by 3 etzbois, thumbs, which is very, very small. So there's a chiddush that even a piece of cloth, which is 3 by 3 etzbois, it's 6 by 6 centimeters, is also mekabel tumah. Says Reb Shimon ben Elazar, which type of fabric is mekabel tumah if it's 3 by 3 etzbois? Only linen, only things made out of flax. Anything else made out of wood, or we'll see later, not necessarily wood, really anything else but wool and linen, which could mean also anything made out of any other fur, any other type of anything else but wool or linen. If it's a proper clothing, we'll see later, some say we'll see, maybe it's mekabel tumah. But now we're talking about if it's 3 by 3 fingers, 3 by 3 thumbs, 6 by 6 centimeters. So ein by mishum shalish al shalish, it's not mekabel tumah if it's 3 by 3 fingers. Or misakchim by. Since it's not mekabel tumah, you could use it for schach. You could use threads, fabric for schach, because it's not mekabel tumah. There's something we'll see. There's such a halacha we say today that if something is, you cannot see that it was made from things that grow from the ground, then you shouldn't use it for schach because people might make a mistake. But me'ikra din, as long as it's made from things that grow from the ground, and it's not made into a keli, which is mekabel tumah, then you could use it. Chutz mi pishtam, linen, flax is the only exception. That's what Reb Shimon ben Elazar said. Amar Abaye, I found a match. Reb Shimon ben Elazar v'toned vei Rabbi Yishmael. There were brises that were repeated in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael. Amru davar echad. These two brises, the Tana, whoever it was, that they repeated in the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael, and Reb Shimon ben Elazar, said the same thing, the same halacha. Reb Shimon ben Elazar hoda amvaran. That we mentioned before, that he said that 3 by 3 fingers is not mekabel tumah unless it's flax, matches to Tana Dvei Rabbi Shmuel. What is that? Mahi. The Tana Dvei Rabbi Shmuel. Hoil v'nemru b'godim b'Torah stam. The Torah says that if a clothing became tamei, it touched a sheretz, it touched a dead body, it always mentions a clothing. It doesn't say what type of material it was made out of. In one of the psukim, legabe tsaras, it says tzemer upishtim. It specifies that it's made out of wool or linen. So there's a rule called binyan av. Binyan av means if the Torah specifies a halacha in one mitzvah, in one din, if you have no reason to say why it should only be there and not apply to anything similar to it, then it applies to anything similar to it. This is the Torah mentioned in one that you should apply it to anything similar. So the Torah mentioned in one tuma that it applies to wool or linen only, exclusively. From that we learn that anything else also, all other tumas only apply to wool or linen. Ma'alahalon, just like by tzarat, semeru pishtim, it's only wool or linen. I've called semeru pishtim. So all other tumas are also only semeru pishtim. So he's saying the same exact thing. Tuma only, the only material which is makabel tuma is wool and linen. That's what Abaye said. Rav Amar, no, there's a big difference. Shloisha al shloisha b'sha'ar begodim ika b'nayu. The difference between them is 3 by 3 in lashon zocher, in other clothing, and larger than that. Rabbi Yishmael said, not Rabbi Yishmael, the Tanakh Rabbi Yishmael said that which clothes are mekabel tuma? Only wool or linen, not just a piece of cloth, 3 by 3 fingers. The only clothes that are mekabel tuma, so even a full clothing, definitely if it's 3 by 3 tfachim, although as we see later, something which many people use, I guess, as a rag to wash things. Many people use it as a cloth to wrap things. Even rich people use such a cloth. Nevertheless, it's not mekabel tuma because it's not semeru pishtim. In other words, the limud of Tanakh Rabbi Shmuel is the pasuk says the only material which is mekabel tuma is wool or linen. So there's no tuma in anything else. Rabbi Shimon also didn't say that. He said that the chiddush of 3 by 3 fingers, 3 by 3 thumbs, 3 by 3, 6 by 6 centimeters, which that's a chiddush, that should be mekabel tuma, that only applies to wool or linen. So you can't compare the two opinions. Okay. So we're getting involved in, once we mention halachas, again, especially if there's no Gemara on Taurus, so whenever we get involved, we touch on these type of things, we want to elaborate on them. So we're going me'inyan le'inyan. We got involved in this whole sugya because there's some sort of comparison to the oil. And now we mentioned that 3 by 3 is mekabel tuma. Hey, why is 3 by 3 mekabel tuma? It's not connected to the exact discussion we're saying now. We're just asking, where did this whole concept of 3 by 3 thumbs be mekabel tuma? Where did that come from? It's not a logical thing. You wouldn't think so. Such a small piece of cloth, I throw it in the bin today for sure. But it's like useless, almost. Who said it's mekabel tuma? Mekabel tuma has to be a keli. Says the Gemara, the kuli alma mihas, Abaye and Rava and Rabbi Shmuel, everyone agrees. Kuli alma, everyone agrees. Mihas at the end of the day that shalish al shalish mitzemer or pishtim mitam minagoyim. That if it's wool or linen and it's 3 by 3 thumbs, it is mekabel tzara, so it's mekabel all tumas minol. How do we know that? Tanya, we learned in a brayso, it says like this. Beged, it says by all the tumas that a beged could become tamei. Eili ela beged. I only know from there that a proper clothing can be mekabel tuma. Shalish al shalish minayin. How do I know that even if it's a small piece of cloth which is 3 by 3, it's boys, it's also mekabel tuma? Talmud leimer veha beged. In one of the psukim regarding tzaras, it adds a vav and a hey. A vav and a hey come to add. There are more types of clothes that you wouldn't think of that are also mekabel tuma. Says the Gemara, you're right. The vav and the hey are coming to add that it doesn't have to be a proper clothing. It could be less than that. But why jump to 3 by 3 thumbs? Ve'ema maybe the rabbis is coming to add shaloisha al shaloisha 3 by 3 tfachim. 24 centimeters by 24 centimeters. Maybe that's something which I wouldn't think on my own. It's not a proper clothing, but if you're already adding something, okay, that's something significant. That's something which people would use maybe to store things, to I don't know what, to use as a shmata, but maybe don't jump to 3 by 3 etzbois. Says the Gemara now. 3 by 3 etzbois, you don't need a pasuk. 3 by 3 etzbois, although it's not my initial logic, but I have a kal v'chomer. There's something else which the Torah mentioned is mekabel tuma, And I could make the conclusion that if that's Mekabel Tumah, 3 by 3 Tfachim is for sure Mekabel Tumah. Now its voice is already jumping too far. Let's see. The Hemel Rabbi Shloisha al Shloisha said, "What a lab kal v'chaymer? It's a kal v'chaymer." Hashtash siva erev. Regarding tzaras, the Torah says that if you have the threads lined up to weave, the threads that are meant to go to the length or to the width, however you call them in proper English, the shesi and the erev, they're just ready to be woven, are already mekabel tzaras, even if they're not woven. A thread is much less useful than a 3 by 3 tefachim cloth. It could be useful eventually, but it's not useful in its present stage. That's what we go by in Tumah. So if the threads, the plain threads, could be metame, shloisha miboya. Is it a question that 3 by 3 tefachim should be mekabel Tumah? Tell you about 1 second. If that's your source, sholish al sholish, 3 by 3 etzbois, nami leisi b'kal v'chaymer, should also be learned b'kal v'chaymer. At the end of the day, a thread isn't useful at all in its present state. 3 by 3 thumbs, it's barely useful, but it's more useful than just a thread. So, if you're using a kal v'chaymer, then why not the kal v'chaymer should also teach us 3 by 3 etzbois, so we don't need the pasuk. So some changes, instead of Ella, they change it to Loi, because they're not changing their initial answer, they're just clarifying. Loi, no. You wouldn't be able to learn B'kal v'chaymer 3 by 3 etzvois. Shloisha al shloisha dechosa, that it's useful. Bein la'ashirim, bein la'anim, rich people and poor people would use a cloth 3 by 3 tvachim. I could say it's definitely more useful than a thread, because I could use it now in its present state and everyone would use it. But sholish al sholish, 3 by 3 etzbois, la'anim u'dechazion, it's useful for poor people. They say that for a patch, basically. La'ashirim lo chazion, rich people don't use it. And therefore, it's less useful than a thread. A thread I will weave from, I'll make a clothing from. This I'll throw in the bin or in the garbage, depending who I'm talking to. But you'll throw it away. You're not going to keep it. So it's less useful than a thread. But 3 by 3 tefachim, everyone keeps in those days at least. 3 by 3 tefachim, I can learn b'kal v'chaymer. So 3 by 3 etzbois, I wouldn't learn from a kal v'chaymer. I need a pasuk. So therefore, if the pasuk comes to say not only a clothing, ve'ha-beged, something else. What's that something else? 3 by 3 etzbois. Why not tefachim? Because tefachim I can learn from a kal v'chaymer. Kal v'chaymer from what? From the threads, from the shesiva. Okay. 1 second.
Yeah, but once you know about the 3 by 3 etzbois from the pasuk, why do you need the kal v'chaymer for the tefachim? You can learn the kal v'chaymer from the etzbois.
Yeah. Again, you have to know how to work. First of all, a kal v'chaymer you can never ask, why do you need? A kal v'chaymer is a fact. Either I need it or I don't. It's there. That's first of all. So a kal v'chaymer you can ask, why do I need it? It just is a kal v'chaymer. Now, second thing is, the only way I know that ve'ha-beged is coming to teach me etzbois is because I have a kal v'chaymer for tefachim. If I wouldn't have a kal v'chaymer for tefachim, ve'ha-beged would add tefachim. Yeah? Okay. So we figured out how do we know 3 by 3 etzbois by tzemer or pishtim from ve'ha-beged, and we wouldn't learn 3 by 3 tefachim because that I would know from a kal v'chaymer from the threads. Says the Gemara, still, I have another option, which may be just another equal option, so prove me your point, or maybe even it's a better option, because it's more useful. Ve'ema, maybe the Rambam is coming to add shloisha al shloisha b'shar b'gadim. Who tells you it's coming to add a measurement? Maybe it's coming to add a material that not just wool and linen could become tamei. Other materials could also become tamei. Says, no, I can't do that. Amar Kra, the pasuk says, Beged Tzemer Upishtim. That same pasuk, which is telling you that Veha Beged ends off. Which Beged am I talking about? Wool or linen. So I can't come and say that the Veha Beged is going to say, and everything else also. If the pasuk is telling me specifically wool and linen, the Vav and Hey can't add against the pasuk. It can add something which fits to the pasuk. The pasuk said wool and linen. Okay, wool and linen, even it's 3 by 3 it's voice. Tzemer upishtim in midiachrin miloi. Says the Gemara, no. You can still fit it with the pasuk. The pasuk might be saying like this: Veha beged, add another beged. Which beged? A beged of 3 by 3 tfachim from other materials. Beged semer beged pishtim, but only wool and linen become tamei, even 3 by 3 etzbois. 1 second, I'm wondering how that could work. 1 second. Yeah. 1 second. It was like this. The Gemara earlier, when it said that we cannot learn a small cloth made from 3 by 3 etzbois from a kal v'chomer, it doesn't mean that that's a logic that everyone agreed to. We had a brisa, and the brisa jumped to learn 3 by 3 etzbois. So we asked a question on the brisa, trying to figure out what the logic of the brisa is. The brisa obviously held that the kal v'chomer could teach us tfachim and not etzbois. And the pasuk is adding its voice. But I might challenge that. I might say, no. A 3 by 3 cloth, 3 by 3 its voice is useful for some people right now. And threads are not useful for anyone right now. So I will learn the kal v'chomer. If I wouldn't have the brisa that tells me that this time it didn't hold that it's a kal v'chomer, I would say maybe it is a kal v'chomer. So maybe it is a kal v'chomer. And then I know already from a kal v'chomer that 3 by 3 fingers, 3 by 3 etzbois of wool or linen are tummy. Then the pasuk comes and tells me, Veha beged, it's coming to add something. What will it add? Maybe 3 by 3 tfachim of other clothes. And then the pasuk concludes, Beged semer beged pishtim. It's coming to tell you like this. That kal v'chomer that you learned, that tells you that even 3 by 3 etzbois is tamei. That's only beged semer and beged pishtim, and everything could fit. The aim will let us say ki imut. When did I exclude anything else but wool or linen? Misholish al sholish, from 3 by 3 etzbois. Ava shloisha al shloisha, if it's 3 by 3 tvachim mitami, maybe it does become tummy from other materials. Says the Gemara, Trei mi'ute ksivei. There are 2 psukim by Tzaras which say wool and linen. With the pasuk we just mentioned, which says beged semer, oy beged pishtim. And then there's another pasuk, beged at semer, oy pishtim. Okay, so there are 2 psukim. For some reason, both of them are not quoted very exactly in the Gemara, which is really a common thing, really. There's a text which says about it. The Gemara and the Rishonim, everyone, they quote psukim very loosely. As long as we're not telling you how to write the Chumash and the Tanakh, we're just telling you we're learning a halacha from it. So if it's not relevant to the halacha, the exact wording, so they weren't particular to say it in the exact wording. So, basically, you don't really have these 2 psukim are not the exact wording. One of them says beged semer upishtim, and the other one says beged semer oy beged pishtim or oy pishtim. If you have the Torah Hasholim, you'll see that in both of them the wording is slightly different. But fine. The point is we have 2 psukim which talk about saras, and they say wool and linen. Chad, one of the psukim is limut, is to exclude mishalish al shalish, and anything else but wool and linen. If it's 3 by 3 fingers, it's not mekabel tumah. V'chad, and one limuti mishleish al shleish, that even if it's 3 by 3 tvachim, it's also not mekabel tumah. Now this is all explaining, based on the assumption, or based on the opinion, that other materials are not Makabal Tumah. And that's why we will not learn from Vehabeged to say that other materials could be Makabal Tumah, because the Torah clearly says it's not Makabal Tumah. The problem is that we earlier had Rava, which said that that's a Machlikas Tanoi. That Tanad Rabbi Shmuel, that Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar holds that other materials, if it's larger than 3 by 3 etzbois, are Makabal Tumah. So we have to figure out how he fits. So that's going to be the next piece of Gemara. So let's first summarize our piece of Gemara. Our piece of Gemara said like this. First of all, like this. There's a halacha that clothes are Makabal Tumah. Not just clothes, but even if they are 3 by 3 tfachim. And not just 3 by 3 tfachim, but even 3 by 3 etzvos. 3 by 3 tfachim, rich people use. 3 by 3 etzvos, poor people use for the patches. Now, there's a halacha that we learn from Sukkim that wool and linen become tummy much easier than any other material. There were two Tanoim that said that. The first Tano was Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. He said, any other material made out of wood is not Mekabel Tumah by 3 by 3 etzbois. That's what he said. Another Tana was a Braisa mentioned by Rabbi Shmuel's Yeshiva, and he said that clothes that are not made out of wool or linen are not Mekabel Tumah. Says Abaye, they're saying the same thing. When Rabbi Shimon Elazar said 3 by 3 etzbois and not Mekabel Tumah and other clothing, he didn't mean only 3 by 3 etzbois. He meant to say that there's clothes are Makabal Tumah, and it goes down up until 3 by 3 etzbois, and all that only applies to wool and linen, not to any other material. So they're saying the same thing, that only wool and linen Makabal Tumah. Rabbi says, no, listen to what they're saying. You're right, the Rabbi Shmuel says that only wool and linen is Makabal Tumah. Rabbi Shimon Elazar did not say that. He said that the special chiddush at 3 by 3 etzbois is Makabel Tumah. That's only by wool and linen. Okay. Leave that machlokes aside, we'll get back to that soon. Let's just focus on what for sure Rabbi Shmuel says. Totally Rabbi Shmuel says that only wool and linen are Makabel Tumah, and they're Makabel Tumah even when they are 3 by 3 etzbois. So let's start with 3 by 3 etzbois, which that everyone agrees according to all opinions. Why? Why would I be matama 3 by 3 etzbois? The answer is it's a pasuk. It's extra words in a pasuk. Vehabeged. Adding 3 by 3 etzbois. Why are you jumping? 3 by 3 tvachim are more useful. Maybe that's what the pasuk is adding? No. 3 by 3 tvachim I know from a kal v'chomer. If threads are makabel tumah, 3 by 3 tvachim are for sure makabel tumah, because they're useful right now. 1 second, 3 by 3 etzbois are also more useful than threads right now? No. Rich people throw it away. They keep threads and they throw away this small piece of cloth. 3 by 3 tvachim everyone keeps. And therefore it's definitely more useful than threads. So the Kal V'chomer teaches me 3 by 3 tvachim. So what is the pasuk adding? The pasuk is adding 3 by 3 etzbois. Says the Gemara, no, 3 by 3 etzbois is a chiddush. Logically, I would say that it's coming to add 3 by 3 tefachim of other clothing. I'm sorry. Take back what I just said. Why are you telling me? You're forcing me to believe that I cannot learn 3 by 3 etzbois from a Kal V'chomer because it's not so good like thread because rich people throw it away. I didn't really swallow that. My initial understanding is still that 3 by 3 etzbois is something I have in my hand. Someone could use it. Threads no one could use right now. It's useful to be made into something. That's not what a keli is. A keli is that right now it's useful. It didn't sit on me, that logic. I would rather hold on to that logic that 3 by 3 etzbois is useful. It's more useful than thread, and I can learn it out from a Kal V'chomer from thread. And if that will be the case, you'll ask me, so what will the pasuk teach me? Other clothes. Okay, not 3 by 3 etzbois, because the whole kavachim was semeru pishtim. We're not going to go and apply that semeru pishtim's threads are mekabel tuma. I won't jump to what do you call it? I won't jump to say 3 by 3 etzbois by other materials. But 3 by 3 tefachim, which is useful, and it's other materials. Maybe that's what the pasuk is coming to have. 3 by 3 tefachim goes together. If the clothing is tummy, then by now we know that 3 by 3 tefachim is also as useful. So fine, it's coming to 3 by 3 tefachim. There's one pasuk that tells me that tzaras is only tzemeru pishtim, and that's the same pasuk which says ve'habeged. So okay. But maybe it's coming to say that 3 by 3 etzbois are not tummy by other materials. No, I have two psukim which say tzemeru pishtim. Two psukim which say tzemeru pishtim. Mela is telling me that whether it's 3 by 3 tefachim, whether it's 3 by 3 etzbois, other materials are not mekabel tuma, and therefore the ve'habeged is coming to add 3 by 3 etzbois by wool and linen, and then I must say that I wouldn't learn it from a kal v'chomer, and therefore I must accept the logic that since rich people don't keep it, you can't learn it from a kal v'chomer. So that all fits if we say that other materials are not mekabel tuma. But what if we say they are mekabel tuma? The whole part of the flow doesn't fit over here. So we'll deal with that in Mitzvah Hashem tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday. It's Sunday. Okay.
But you're saying, according to the Kal V'chomer, that you learn 3 by 3 etzbois from a Kal V'chomer, and then you learn from the posuk other materials.
Yeah.
So then, how do you learn about 3 by 3 tefachim?
By other materials.
But why? What's the shaykhs between other materials and 3 by 3 tefachim?
Oh, you're asking like this. If our initial understanding was that only proper clothes are mekabel tuma, 3 by 3 tefachim you have to learn from a kal v'chomer. Yeah? So why, if the pasuk is adding other materials, are you going to add 3 by 3 tefachim? If you have the kal v'chomer, it should include also 3 by 3 etzbois. And if you don't have, it should be only proper clothes. Okay? Give me just a second. So Tosfos' opinion is really that 3 by 3 tefachim is a proper clothing. When the Gemara said we could learn from a kal v'chomer, it didn't really mean that I only know from a kal v'chomer. It really meant to say it obviously is a clothing. Not only that, we have a kal v'chomer. So then the Gemara wanted to stretch and say, if you already mentioned kal v'chomer to make it stronger, the kal v'chomer I could stretch the 3 by 3 etzbois. So we stopped it there. We said no, we can't stretch it. But really, for 3 by 3 tefachim, you don't need a kal v'chomer. 3 by 3 tefachim, it's logic. Logic that's considered the proper clothing.
Or because it's hainuhach in a sense that 3 by 3 tefachim is other clothing. It is clothing.
Yeah, it is considered a clothing. So the fact that the Gemara says kal v'chomer is really unnecessary, just an additional thing, really just pure logic that it's just like a regular clothing. That's Tosfos' opinion.